The function shall commence with the address by Dr. Baldev Raj, President INAE. Dr. Baldev Raj is a distinguished alumnus of Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and formerly distinguished scientist and director, Indira Gandhi Center for Atomic Research, Kalpakkam. He is presently President, International Institute of Welding, and President Research, PSG Institutions, Coimbatore. He is well known for acclaimed work in materials science and technology and fast reactors and fuel cycle. He is a recipient of numerous awards and honors, including the Padma Shri Award by the President of India. May I request Dr. Baldev Raj to kindly deliver his address. Thank you, sir.
Good morning to all of you. Dr. R. Chidambaram, Principal Scientific Advisor to Government of India, former Chairman Atomic Energy Commission and Chairman Board of Governors internationally, former Chairman Board of Governors, International Atomic Energy Agency. Dr. T. Ramasamy, former Director, Central Leather Research Institute, currently the Secretary, Department of Science and Technology. Professor Krishan Lal, President, Indian National Science Academy, and in fact he is the host in a way we are doing in his premises, and he has been very kind to be present here for this occasion. And you know that science and technology are mother and a child, and it's very nice that you are here. Professor Rane Dandlikar, President, International Council of Academies and Engineering and Technological Sciences, and the past President of Swiss National Academy of Engineering, who is also specialized in the optics. We have Silver Jubilee distinguished lectures, Professor P. Ramarao, Dr. Anil Kakodkar, and Dr. Baba Kalyani. Each year we give the Young Engineer Awards to the professionals, engineers from academic, research and industry. Out of approximately 100 Young Engineer awardees, we have selected 4 to be honored during the Silver Jubilee year, and they are present here: Dr. Avinash Kumar Agarwal, Dr. Sangamitra Bandopadhyay, Dr. Professor Sivasandhu Dey, and Dr. Sukumar Mishra. Also, we are very fortunate to have the presence of our foreign academies with whom we have very close and focused relationships. Professor Robin Bertham, who is the President of Australian Academy of Technological Sciences, and who is a specialist in minerals, mining and engineering. Professor Gan Yang, Vice President, Chinese Academy of Engineering, and his colleagues from Chinese Academy of Engineering. Professor Gan Yang is a specialist in metallurgy, iron and steel. Dr. Anna-Maja Harle, President, Technology Academy, Finland, who is a specialist in innovations and new technology, and Professor Dr. Arthur Reff, President, Swiss Academy of Engineering Sciences, and his colleagues, Engineer Bertrand van Ee, President, Netherlands Academy of Technology. His expertise is in innovations. We have many past presidents. In fact, we would have had the pleasure of all the past presidents who are living to be here, except that some are away from the country. But we are very fortunate that we have the presence of Dr. S. Vardarajan, Dr. Anil Kakodkar, Dr. P. Ramarao, A. Ramakrishna, Dr. P. S. Goyal, who have all past presidents and who have laid the foundation of this academy. Dear fellows of the academy, the young engineers, students, invitees, media, my brothers and sisters, I welcome you all on this very special occasion, and I am delighted that you accepted our invitation and are present over here. Before I start the address, I would say that we are very fortunate that on the eve of the Silver Jubilee of the Indian National Academy of Engineering, we have something momentous to celebrate. successful launch of Agni 5, meeting all the performance requirements, is a great achievement of engineering and technology in the country. And we feel really delighted that this has been steered by one of our fellows of the Indian National Academy of Engineering and many of the fellows of the Academy who stood with him over years to build this momentous technological achievement. We would like to congratulate Dr. V.K. Saraswat and his colleagues on this momentous occasion. In my short address, I want to brief you with respect to the history, consolidation of our activities, what we did and plan to do in the Silver Jubilee year, international collaborations, and a way forward, and how we prepare to celebrate our Golden Jubilee. What is our pathways and what actions we are taking with respect to that. Before I go on to that, I must say that for everyone who's in the audience, I can understand the constraints of time, that it was difficult for them to be present, but they are still present. But particularly Dr. Baba and Kalyani, he had a major surgery which just came by surprise to him. And when I said that you are a distinguished lecturer, he said my surgeon would not allow. And then he appealed to the surgeon and he would just fly in a chartered flight to be here with a lot of painkillers, and he would give his distinguished lecture address. Similarly, Professor Anna-Maja Halla from Finland, she just made it because of the difference in the timings between where she was attending the meeting and India. And she was looking at all the possibilities to be able to make it to the place. So special gratitude, and of course gratitude to all of you. Indian National Academy of Engineering, like it happens for institutes like this, is a product of the vision of the select engineers drawn from academia, research and industry, and many of them are present over here. I'd mention a few names who were instrumental as founding members to give the shape to the Indian National Academy of Engineering: Dr. V.S. Arunachalam, Dr. G.R. Toshniwal, Professor S.N. Mitra, Professor Jay Krishna, Professor A. Bhattacharya, Colonel S.P. Wahi, and many others. And it was on April 11, 1988 that the then Prime Minister of India, Shri Rajiv Gandhi, was present at the foundation function and inspired that how engineering would be important as the country grows. Notably present on the occasion were Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao, at that time Minister for Human Resources Development, and Mr. K.R. Narayanan, the Minister of Science and Technology. We have 10 past presidents of the Academy in these 25 years, and I am 11th in the series, so obviously I am building on the foundation along with the fellows of what has been done by these illustrious 10 past presidents. Our major asset is 685 fellows from India and 54 foreign fellows drawn from all over the world. And this is a colossal asset, and it is up to the Academy as to how it organizes and synergizes the assets to meet the objectives, which is to encourage, enhance, and more important and difficult, harness this expertise, intelligence, and colossal experiences to the national causes, and also become a pathway to find global and visible solutions on the current challenges. With respect to the consolidation of the activities, let me start with the heritage. We have heritage groups in 3 areas where India is very strong in heritage: civil engineering, railways, and metallurgy. And these groups work with the specialist, and they look at conservation, characterization, giving a visibility to the engineering intricacies of many of the heritage, and also how to make a recommendations to conserve and also to enhance its appreciation by as many people as possible. Education is the key, and the human resources hold the key to the growth of a country. No country can achieve the growth, no country can achieve a rightful place unless the education is very strong. Education, one of the earliest recommendations and the focus areas of the Academy. The Academy gives Excellence Award to the students. It mentors the students. The mentoring of the teachers is done. We have distinguished professors who go from R&D and industry to the educational institutes. This program has a lot of impact because when a distinguished person from the Academy spends time in various institutes, and especially those of the institutes which are providing education but don't have many illustrious people to knit the education and research, these people, when they spend the time with these institutes, it has a profound impact. Similarly, we have a research scheme where the people from education to the education can go to the industry. This scheme has not really been as effective as the first one because many people from education are not finding it fruitful to go to the industry. I think the problem lies both ways, and the Academy is working with CII as to how to make the people go from education to industry. Of course, industry must give them a specific challenge and the assignment on which these people would feel very happy to spend their time. And this is where we have to do the work. We have the publications of journal, website, e-newsletter, and today I got many phones and emails this morning that all what we are celebrating here is transmitted alive through a web link on our website. So many of our colleagues, fellows, foreign fellows who are not able to come to this function, they are able to see live our program. So many things we would like to do web live, and with the National Knowledge Network, we hope to establish more synergy among the fellows to solve national challenges, to be connected with the global network to solve the global challenges, and I think this is a great boon on which we are looking forward to work. Most important aspect which the Academy feels in addition to selection of the fellows is to recognize the people early in the age. So we recognize young engineers when they are below 35 years of age, but they have very clear product, research, process to demonstrate that they have arrived, and their work and their thinking merits recognition. We are more than 100 young engineers, and these engineers are very closely associated with our activities. We have a very unique program anywhere in the world which is called National Frontiers of Engineering, where the engineers below 40 years of age choose suitable subject, deliberate at length, even recognize what would be the directions of research and develop in those areas, and a few mentors from the Academy are present to interact with them, just like you do in a family with your children. They sit together and try to find how we can enhance in some of the areas which are of great importance. We also recognize integrated work of our fellows in the form of Jai Krishna Award, SN Mitra Award, and Lifetime Achievement Award. Dr. V.K. Saraswat, whom I mentioned in the beginning, is just one example who has been given one such award. We also participate in the national policies, sometimes on invitation and sometimes on our request. To give examples, we have participated in the planning process for 12th plan. We participate in the Scientific Advisory Council to the Cabinet, of which chairman is Dr. R. Chidambaram. We also participate in Science Engineering Research Council, for which the chairman is Professor C.N.R. Rao. In the recent years, we have realized that while we can participate in the meetings and discuss, we must have consolidated thinking and clear recommendations if we want to be effective. So we have been doing the research studies. These research studies are done by the fellows who are well known, who are acclaimed. They form a group, and then through workshops and the meetings and some of the other interactions, we come up with a research report. And this research report makes clear recommendations and also gives pathways. We have completed our reports on higher education, but these are the processes which go on. While we may say that we have completed the report, there is a feedback after the recommendations and the thinking evolves, and these processes go on. We have the research study on R&D in chemical industry, R&D in mining and industry. In mining industry, which is extremely important, the natural resources and their utilization. R&D in metallurgy to realize products and processes. We today would release the 3 case studies which are really truly national challenges. These research studies which have been done with our eminent fellows are on water management, civil infrastructure, healthcare technologies. And these would be released today, and I am very sure that we'd interface with the specialists and try to see how we can make the recommendations to the government, to the industries and other stakeholders, and also through our website. Anybody who would be interested in carrying forward these recommendations or giving new inputs to our things. We have also found that in certain areas we need the forum which would work all the time, and they don't have a limited time span in which they have to work, whereas a research case study is started and it has to be completed in a given time frame. These forums which we have formed are on education, which I would agree is of extreme importance, energy technologies, and how to realize what kind of pie should be there for realizing these energy technologies, and how the sustainable low carbon energies can be realized. Microelectronics, which is extremely important. For the Silver Jubilee, we started preparing about 18 months before. Dr. P.S. Goyal was the then president, Indian National Academy of Engineering. We requested Dr. Anil Kakodkar to chair the Silver Jubilee shaping of the academy, and we realized that in addition to celebration, we must have certain products which are very unique, which are visible, and which are needed for the engineering community at this stage. So you would see today a video film which shows the engineering achievements and engineering excellence in this country. You would also have a coffee table book which captures the glimpses of the engineering achievement, research studies I have mentioned, and also we'd have the distinguished lecture series started today with 3 distinguished lectures being delivered today, as I mentioned, and in a year we'd have about 10 distinguished lectures which would be given at different places, and of course you would have a commemorative first day cover which would keep on reminding us that we had the Silver Jubilee over here. Very carefully we thought over as to what should be a major theme when we celebrate the Silver Jubilee, and we decided that we'd have international conference on innovations. Already the response is very large, and we have very good experts from all over the world and India. And it's extremely important that we compare the approaches in innovation. Innovation is not a mathematical way to do the things. It's a lot of ecosystem goes into different people realize innovations in a different way. So we want to listen from different people who have realized innovations and what they think about, and then we come. In addition, we'd have, of course, workshops, conferences, specialist meetings. In today's world, it is extremely important that we are linked internationally. And fortunately, we have the International Council of Academies of Engineering and Technological Sciences, about whom you would hear from Professor Rene. But I must say that India is a very active and robust player in the CATES always, and it has also 1:1 relation with US National Academy of Engineering, Royal Academy of Engineering UK, Australian Academy of Technological Sciences and Engineering, Canadian Academy of Engineering, Chinese Academy of Engineering, Swiss Academy of Engineering, National Academy of Engineering of Korea. And we pursue a theme with each academy. To give an example, with the Australian Academy, we always pursue a theme on energy. It may be renewable, it may be coal, but we work on that and see that how continuously we can address the challenges. Similarly, with Chinese Academy of Engineering, we have a very interesting theme of digital library, and still more interesting, how to grow the global young leaders. China and India joining together and taking a few young people and trying to see how the future challenges of the world would be addressed, and we are knitting a program to grow these young leaders in the future. And this way, I think we are very national, but at the same time, we are international also. In the coming years, we would have to attract the students to be engineers, saying how engineers can provide technologies which can deliver not only growth, but deliver growth with ethics and equity, which is a tough challenge. And we are using our fellows as icons, and all the interfaces in the government or with the industries to see that the engineers get a proper mentorship to grow, because as we grow, the challenges are going to be huge. We are also working on a vision in a telescopic way. Vision with a pathway for 3 years, pathway for 7 years, and pathway for 15 years. 3 years, then 3 plus 7, then 3 plus 7 plus 15, so that we know that how we are achieving our targets, and how as we go from now to 2037, when the Golden Jubilee of the Academy would be celebrated, how we would have contributed to solving national and global challenges. And the challenges are very huge. Whichever area you look at, if you look at mineral resources, the lean mineral resources, and digging these resources well deep into the earth, where maybe mineral processing would be done at that place, and you would have to extract with the army of robots. Look at affordable healthcare technologies of high quality, look at infrastructure, sustainable cities, energy security and sustainability, water. I think these are huge challenges, but they are doable, and it is a combination of science, technology, policymaker, the public, the common citizen who have to work together. So fellowship today cannot be a light. Fellowship to solve the problem has to lead and has to be conscious of absorbing everything which comes back to us based on what we say. And the colossal asset which I mentioned in the beginning of the fellows from India and abroad, we are very confident that we make better and better contributions, howsoever big challenge it is there. I'm really delighted that we have some wonderful icons on the dais and off the dais who are going to enrich the day and also sustain our contributions in the Silver Jubilee year and beyond. Thank you very much for your patient listening.